Hello, there we are.
Welcome back. You want to introduce your
Welcome.
favorite horseman?
He is my favorite horseman. He may be he's one of my favorite guests. But we have Fred Woehl here, and we are honored to have you on our set because you are just like the world traveler now, and you have so much going on. And
I'm tickled to be here. You know, I used to introduce myself as an internationally unknown horse trainer.
Guess what?
I can't do that no more.
Because
That's
you
good.
are
Yeah. So I'm
known.
You know, I am known.
You are known.
I am known. That's good. It's better than have my face in the post office, I guess.
That's true.
Definitely better.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
The last time you were on the show, you said it was 45 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Well,
or somewhere around in there.
Yeah.
And it just seems like I guess it doesn't take very long to go around the world, does it?
No, anymore. I mean, when I leave and I go to Jordan, I travel about 30 hours, and that's going and coming. And it's when I go, I gain 8 hours, and when I come back, I lose 8 hours. And so it's a little bit different. But it's any spot of the world you can get to in a day or so. It's just amazing the way.
Did you go star crazy on that plane?
You know, this time I did it in two little jumps instead of nonstop. I don't know if it was smart or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because getting off the plane and having to check your bags again and do all that, it's a little bit more of a hassle. I think I'd rather just sit on the plane for 13 hours. So.
For people that don't know, Fred, you've been on the show 5-6 different times over the 2 or 4 years that we've been doing the show.
I know, you're getting more and more appearances. It's great.
But first off, I mean, when you came on the show, you were working for the government here at the federal building.
Right.
And
you were a nobody. Sorry.
His wife tells him that every day, right?
I'm kidding.
No.
Well, I was.
I think graduated up to the fact that you made a trip overseas, and that just kind of exploded.
It really has exploded.
And for people that don't know, you're a horse expert or a horseman. You know the I guess the personalities of horses. So you're an expert trainer, and you're in high demand overseas, and you would think, and I've asked this question before, that people that raise Arabians, you would think that they would be the people that you would go to get advice.
Right.
Which is not the case.
It's not the case. You know, my job there is twofold. One is to help the local Jordanians to understand Western philosophy of horse care and horse training, because they use their horses with tourists, and so their ideas are a little bit different. And the other thing is to help develop a horse use policy for Petra, the park there. And so that's the twofold that I have. But you're right; they've had horses for 5,000 years.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There is not too much I can tell them. About horses. Now, I can show them different ways of doing things, but you need to really understand too that if you do the same thing for 5,000 years to work the same way, and we here in the United States have changed.
We evolve all the time.
Yes, and they actually haven't. They're still doing things the same way they did 5,000 years ago. So, and you have to be a little cautious in your approach. You can't go in there and say, I'm an American, this is how it needs to be done. And so I use a coaching, mentoring, in encouraging to try to improve what they do. And I tell them I'm here to learn from them. And I have learned from them, but they have also learned from me.
Well, when you break those barriers down and they show you things, then they open themselves up where they say, how do you do it?
Yes.
How do you do it?
There's
over
a
there?
trust, obviously, that you've gained through this.
Yes, and that's very important, because in the Middle East, relationships is where it's all at, and you have to have that. And to get that, it's a house of cards. You have to be very careful, because you can say one small thing and tear everything down, and not meaning to.
Right.
And so it's something that but it's a lot of fun to work in a culture that's 180 degrees opposite of how you was raised. And the other day I got back. I was back for about 3 days, and I took a flat tire in to get it fixed. And they asked me something, and I answered them in Arabic. I mean, I didn't even I didn't even think. I mean, I just answered them in Arabic, and that's the transition period when I come home is to get back to where, you know, I need to be, and it's really
back in Harrison, Arkansas.
Yeah, back to Harrison, Arkansas.
Have you been following the political things that go on?
I really haven't. I mean, for 45 days, you know, I got back the 22nd of October. I hadn't heard anything. I didn't even know really who was running. When I got back and saw that Jeff Crockett was running for mayor, that was a shock to me.
Well, I think it was a shock to him because I think it was one of those last-minute decisions right before the deadline to file. So
it was. I mean, I didn't even know anything was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I really didn't. And then, you know, and if you say ignorance is bliss, well, I was totally ignorant.
Yeah, there you go.
And so
the world changes too quick, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yeah. Well, it changes, but it stays the same.
Yeah.
It changes, but it stays the same and everything.
I want you to tell us about this stuff.
Well, first of all, I brought you and Dan a gift.
Oh, boy.
Oh, thank
These
you.
are postcards from Petra.
Monastery Petra.
Yes.
I've seen this photo.
That photo right there.
Somewhere.
Yes. That is the most famous icon of Petra. That is called the
Jones movie,
Treasury.
like
that was in the Indiana Jones movie, also in the Transformer movie.
Oh, yeah.
Transformer 2.
Oh, okay.
And that's pretty cool. Now, this is something I'm really proud of. This is a handmade, hand-twirled prayer rug.
Wow.
These two ends are camel, these are goats, and this is sheep. And what they do, they actually take this wool and they do it like that in their hand.
Oh,
when they shear it off and they twist it up.
Yeah, okay.
And then this is a hand-woven prayer rug.
What a lovely piece.
And that was given to me as a gift. That's really good.
Wow.
And the other thing they do is they like to really decorate their horses, Ann.
Okay, I was hoping that was for the horse, not for Dan.
It's a nice belt.
Yes.
Skirt? Is that
or
your
a skirt. This would be a very good skirt, but this goes around the
horse's neck, right?
The chest.
Oh, the chest part.
Okay.
Chest. And so this is actually a handmade
Wow.
what is that? Knitted, I guess.
Crocheted or
something. And it's made, and this was given to me
That's neat.
as a gift. And so
So your horses are going to be styling.
And they also gave me a halter, which is the same way. Well, I don't know. I think my horse Blue, if I put purple on him, he'd think that wouldn't be very good.
Oh, really?
So I've got to find a girl horse somewhere.
Yeah, okay.
To put that on.
That's neat.
But
lovely.
it was very, very interesting. You know, one of the most frustrating things I have is trying to get them to understand cause and effect.
Right.
Doing the same thing the same way and expecting a different result doesn't work. And that's really one of the most frustrating things I have there.
Yeah.
One of my new projects that I'm going to do is I'm going to try to bring 6 or so over here and show them how we do horses.
Yeah.
What a neat idea. That's a great idea.
And because the people that are my age that use horses now, I can't change them. They're too set in their ways. The young ones coming up, I can make an impression, but their kids are the ones that will make these positive changes. So if I can get that done, it would be really good. And if I do, I'll bring them on the
That would be awesome.
on the show.
That'd be great.
Yeah, they would really
love
really
that.
like
Would
that.
absolutely love that. Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be really
Did
good.
you bring photos this time?
Yes, I did. I think.
All right.
I think
We'll just
Ian
let
has
you.
them.
We'll just run the slideshow, and then you can just tell us what's going on with them. They get that racked up back there somewhere. There we go.
Okay, now this is one of the reasons why I'm there. This was
Is
a
that
horse
horse
that
on the ground?
on the ground, and it's and it is actually hooked up to a carriage.
Oh.
This horse wasn't given enough water, and it was used too much, and it actually collapsed. I mean, right there, and that's what I'm there for, is to help that, to keep that from going on.
Wow.
Now, these are part of the tombs that are there. You can see Petra is very unique. It's very, very awesome that you see, and this is part of the tomb.
What was this originally built for? Was it a city or?
It is a city. It's the city of the Edomites, which is the sons of Esau.
Okay.
Okay, and in the Old Testament, the book of Obadiah
Right.
is against this city.
Oh,
That's
really?
Okay.
His prophecy is against this city, and he said it would be torn down and nobody had ever lived there again. And you can
look.
see, and you look at there now, and
Yeah.
but it's very pretty, very pretty. I talked to a rabbi, and this is a lot of different cultures come through there, and he said that Petra is where the 144,000 are going to flee. The 144,000 Jews are going to flee when the end time comes. They're coming to Petra.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
you know,
Wow, it's still good.
Petra's involved with a lot of different
Yeah.
things.
It's a key
awesome.
element of the Bible.
Yes.
Amazing.
These are some more of the tombs. As you can see, they actually carved into the face of these mountains, and they it's
And the
amazing.
opening there at the bottom, I guess, is...
That's the tomb.
Okay.
That's where they go
Right.
in there, and the Nabateans are the ones that did all this. And what they would do is they would have banquets 3 or 4 times a year to honor the dead. So they would go in the tomb and eat.
Oh.
Okay.
That is Aaron's tomb. Aaron is the brother of Moses.
Yeah.
Right.
I took a journey there, and I had to. I rode about 8 hours through the desert and rocks and all,
get there.
To get there,
Now Moses,
Wow.
Moses disappeared, right?
Moses disappeared on Mount Nebo.
Yeah.
He was, and he wasn't anymore, and that's
Wow.
God buried him. What they said it like that, but it was on Mount Nebo. But
Yeah.
Aaron has a tomb, and Aaron and Moses both are very integral in the Bedouin culture. Very good. That's when I was riding Aaron's tomb. As you can see how decorated my horse is. My cowboy hat was an icon there too. I mean, everybody
would have loved
Do
to
you
have
have to
had
take
that cat.
cowboy hats back with you every time you go?
I have to take. No, I don't take very many. I don't take any cowboy hats except mine,
Yours.
and I guard it
I bet.
passionately.
You'd be gone.
Yeah, it would be. This is the royal stable right here. As you can see, it's
neat.
very, very nice.
Yes, very nice.
Very, very nice. And that is a world champion Arab horse that I picked out of 23 horses. I was walking with Princess Alia, and she said, "Which one of these horses do you like?" Well, I went there and looked at them. This is the one I liked, and this was the world champion.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Filly. And she
So-
told me, she said, "Fred, you have an eye for Arab horses." So I said, "Yeah, well, thank you." So I did work with this horse, and I worked with a couple of other horses. Then she brought out the grand champion horse, and I think that one
Oh,
right there.
wow.
That is Ramadan. That horse, I was told, was insured for $1 million.
Wow.
Does she speak any English?
Yes, she
Okay.
spoke very good English.
Okay.
Very good English,
Just
and
curious.
she was very, very nice. This horse here, I worked with it a little bit, and
Beautiful.
first rattle out of the box, he tried to bite me. So I slapped him like I did with my horses.
Fred.
And I'm thinking then,
And you're here to tell.
okay, right in front of the princess, I just
And you
slapped
didn't-
this $1 million horse. I'm going to end up in the desert with my head cut off.
Did you realize what you were doing at the
No,
time?
it's just one
It
of
was
those,
your-
it's
Yeah.
just
Your routine. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't mad at the horse. He just, and he would
just let him know you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah. And so he was very, very smart. Matter of fact, he
learned from that?
He is currently in England right now,
Oh man.
being shown.
So he didn't try to bite you again,
He
did he?
didn't try to bite me again. He didn't try to paw me. He didn't. I mean, he just was. He said, "Whoa, son, what do you want me to do?"
Now, do you think the other handlers let him go ahead and try to bite?
Yes, because
Okay.
when the handler brought him out, he was scared to death of him.
Really?
I mean, he would just walking around.
Oh, really?
Well, have they
dancing.
never thought of a little discipline type?
Well, it's the
I guess.
princess's horse.
Okay, you don't mess with the
and so,
princess's horse.
oh, I messed with the
Unless
princess's
you're
horse.
Fred.
But she told me, she said, "I want you to come back and spend 2 weeks and show all my handlers how to handle
Oh my
horses."
gosh. That's
What an
cool.
honor.
So I may
That
get
is.
to do
That
that
is
when I come
big.
back. Yeah,
Bring
it
her
is.
back over.
It is.
We'll interview her.
She's a hoot.
Is she really?
is really a hoot. When I spent all day with her and almost all night. I was with her late and eating and had dinner with her,
Mm-hmm.
supper. I called it supper. She called it dinner. And while we was there, she got a phone call and she kidnapped a bear out of the Amman Zoo that was not being
Treated right.
treated
Oh,
right.
Seriously?
So she
just went
arranged
and
to have
got it?
that bear kidnapped.
Wow.
In other words, she just went there and picked up the bear and brought it back.
I'll be darned.
And so she's a hoot. She is just a hoot. She's a great friend, but she'd be just as good an enemy. I mean, but she
kind of like Ann.
Just like Ann. Matter of fact, she reminds me a lot of Ann, because Ann is that type that when she's your friend, she's loyal and she's your friend. If she's your enemy, she's your enemy. I mean,
she's just as much energy both ways.
And I thank God that she's my friend.
You bet.
So, very good.
Keep bringing me gifts.
Yes. Well, that's not really anything. And
no, but you think about us,
Well, I do think
awesome.
about you, and I wanted to show you
much,
this.
yeah.
This is the